Welcome into Sports Memos Betting Podcast, college football, every game on the board with our first guest up, Joe Raineri. Joe, welcome into the pod. How are you?
Going on, man? Exciting, right? Getting to be down to the nitty-gritty. 3 more weeks before we get to yell and scream that our team isn't in the top 4. So I love this in college football. Love it.
Oh, yeah, the playoff rankings, absolutely. There will be 4 teams in.
Yes.
Will it be your team? That is the question. It's going to be coming down to the end here. Pac-12
Just have another
SEC.
SEC tournament. Why don't you? Go ahead. Enjoy yourself. And Georgia, and go ahead. Have a good time, Georgia LSU.
All right, Joe. Well, let's get to the winners and losers. Try to get more winners and losers. That's the goal of the podcast. And starting off with weeknight football here with 4 teams tonight, Joe, that will not be in the college football playoff. Yeah. However, if you cash some tickets with them, it pays the same. I have found that out. 105, 106, top of the card here. Wednesday night action. Toledo at Buffalo. We got 9. That's the Buffalo Bulls laying at home. 54.5 being the total here, Joe.
Yeah, I got to tell you, it's real simple to me here. Buffalo is pretty darn good at home. They have actually covered 13 of their last 17 at home. Toledo's not good on the road, guys. 1-5 against the number in their last 6 on the road. I like the Bulls here, man. I think they've got what it takes in order to be able to win this game at home. It's going to be cold. Might be a little wind there tonight, but the number keeps creeping up, so keep an eye on it. But Toledo, much better at home. Their home road splits were crazy this year. Not good on the road. I expect Buffalo to win this by double digits.
Yeah, outside of the Glass Bowl, Toledo has struggled, and you're right, Joe. The market has pushed this one up from an opener of 7, and actually Chris, the Costa Rican International Sportsbook, showing 9 in the hook.
Yeah,
so pretty heavy move here towards Buffalo. We got the other action game, Akron, the Zips, Joe. This is a Zips team that is winless straight up, and also, this is very hard to do, winless against the spread so far this year. They are playing at Miami of Ohio, and at Miami of Ohio, 31 being the number here for the Red Hawks, 45 the total, Joe.
Not like going in the record books, huh? I spent a half hour this morning on the morning show trying to figure out what the hell a zip was. So I've got way too much knowledge about Akron University and the Zippers and Goodyear and everything else. So here's what I will tell you. They should have been named the Hillbillies. That was actually on the table back in the 1920s. But to me, this is a perfect example, shining example of when we say we bet numbers and not teams. Forget it's Akron, guys. The reality is it's 31 points with a total of 43. Do the math, okay? It's I think this is a correlated bet for you. If you are going to take the points and go with Akron, you should probably cover the under. I think if you are going to go the other way with the Red Hawks, then they're going to score more than just 31 points here. If you think they're going to be in the 45 to 48 range, then the over is definitely to play. I'm going with Akron, man. I got Zip fever, man. Give me the damn 31 points. I think it's inflated the line to begin with. I think the books knew that the public would always bet Ohio, Miami, Ohio. I think there's too much value in Akron and the 31 points not to take them.
Oh, Joe, the close your eyes special, huh?
That's it. Yeah, I will throw up watching it. Absolutely. And goodness is Buffalo's on at the same time, so you guys will be all right. You don't have to torture yourself. But give me the Zips, damn it.
Stepping in front of an 0-10 ATS team. I love it, Joe. I don't know if I love it, actually, thinking about it twice. But
give me the Zips.
I wish you luck there, man. I'm not going to be joining you on that side, but I'll be thinking about you in spirit. Joe, let's move on to the Thursday night FBS games here. I guess you could call Georgia Tech an FBS team this year. Georgia Tech, 2.5 in Bobby Dodd. 47.5 the total. Georgia Tech hosting NC State in ACC Thursday night action, Joe.
All right, so we're at that point of the season, guys, where motivation has to come into play when you are handicapping these games. And right now, NC State, I believe they can become bowl eligible here with a couple of more wins in their final 2 games. This is a winnable game for them. However, Georgia Tech has got absolutely nothing to play for at this particular point. They're probably, the coaching staff, still trying to figure out what they got for next year. You'll see a lot of substitutions, both having just absolutely awful seasons. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm going with the team who's got more to play for. They know it. NC State is definitely to play in this game.
Yeah, and they're catching 2.5 against Georgia Tech. Interesting line there. We got Friday night lights action in Mountain West. Good one here, Joe. Colorado State at Wyoming. We're seeing the Cowboys laying 6 in the hook or laying 7 at home in Laramie. 51 being the total here, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, Colorado State. How you doing with that? You like me, Air Force? You like me now? My word, what the hell was that? 35 points in the last 3 minutes in the fourth quarter. Anybody who had the under was like, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. I do like Colorado State in this game, though. I do think that they have enough passing through the air to be able to. Wyoming's defense is pretty good, but I do like Colorado's matchup with them on the offensive side of the ball. I think they can put points up in this game, and if you want to give me 7, I'll take the 7. I'm good to go there. I'll take the Colorado State. Give me the Rams here and the points.
Joe, moving on to Saturday's card here. Starting off the card, 115, 116 in the Big Ten. We got Nebraska at Maryland, and Nebraska, the Cornhuskers, laying 5 on the highway. 62 the total here in College Park.
Yeah, Maryland 1-4 against the number in their last 5 in the Big Ten. The over is cash in 9 of the 10 Nebraska games on the road here, 9 of 11 actually. So they've been able to put up some points on the road, which is good news. They haven't been able to stop anybody, but they're also not great. Nebraska's record 1-4-1 against the number in the last 6 versus teams like Maryland, who suck. To me, I think Nebraska's got what it takes here, though. I do like him here. Dedrick Mills rushing. He ran for 188 against Wisconsin. They have covered the number here in before against this team. Maryland, it's a rebuilding year. What are you going to do? They've failed to cover 4 of the last 5 overall, and give me Nebraska to cover this game. I'm thinking 30-20, Nebraska wins.
Joe, heading back to action here, we got Ball State at Kent State. Ball State laying 3 in the hook on the highway, 67.5 being the total here, Joe.
Yeah, the Ball State Cardinals, it's an interesting year, man. They've been good, they've been bad, but they have been at least able to put up some points here and do it a while. That game against Western Michigan was, gave up 45 points, even though they scored 44 and choked and threw up all over themselves in this game. I think they got the better team. I like their quarterback, Drew Pitt. He's only thrown 7 interceptions, 20 touchdowns on the year. I think they'll bounce back in this one here. They're the better team, and I do think that they'll be able to take them down.
Joe, heading to Tampa here. We got Memphis, the Tigers, in Raymond James, taking on South Florida here. 59.5 being the total, 14.5. That's what Memphis is laying on the road.
Yeah. When I talked to you guys a couple of weeks ago about South Florida, I told you one of the don'ts that I have in handicapping is bet on Charlie Strong. And what did I do there on a Friday night game there a couple weeks ago? Yeah, I bet on Charlie Strong. And what did he do? He threw up all over himself. So I am not betting on Charlie Strong. I don't care. Give me Memphis. It could be considered a trap game, but they are, I think, finishing up with Cincinnati last week. So I don't think so. I like them. They're very well coached here. I like the Tigers to cover this number on the road. A little AAC matchup Saturday afternoon. Screw you, Charlie Strong.
Joe, interesting kind of handicap next game up. We got 1-2-1, 1-2-2, Michigan at Indiana. We're seeing Michigan laying 9 in the hook in Bloomington, 53 being the total. This is an Indiana Hoosiers team that could throw it around a little bit and possibly a look-ahead spot here for Michigan with Ohio State on deck. You got any interest in the dog?
They're not going to roll over here, guys. I mean, listen, Michigan, ever since the second half of that Penn State game, has been one of the best teams in the country. Something clicked in that second half. They should have won that game against Penn State, but ever since then, guys, they have put it together. And the problem is it's a little bit of a look-ahead game here because they still got Ohio State coming up here. Michigan does. I think Indiana has proven that, teams are not going to look through them here, and they are going to fight, which is why I have no problem. Michigan's going to win this game, but I got no problem taking the points in this and backing the home team, Indiana, as a dog. They won't win, but they will cover.
Good stuff, Joe. We head to the Big 12 up next. Kansas State at Texas Tech, seeing the Red Raiders laying 2 in the hook in Lubbock, 55.5 being the total.
Yeah, Kansas State is going to be really, really pissed off that they come back, they beat Oklahoma, right? And then you crap the bed here over the last couple of weeks. It's not been good for them. The Red Raiders, I like their quarterback, Jet Duffy there. I like Roderick Thompson, the rusher for them. They've got some weapons in this situation, and I just think the Wildcats are going to come back here on hair on fire. I would not expect them to lose another one. I'm going to take Kansas State in this one, although I think it's going to be a very entertaining game.
Guys, he's Joe Raineri, and he's absolutely killing it on the gridiron. 57% year-to-date in college football. He's also hitting 68% in the NFL, so really profitable in both the NFL and college football. Obviously knows his stuff. Listen to him here on the College Football Every Game on the Board podcast, and we have a special coupon code for Joe Raineri's service. You can get the rest of his NFL and college football season at sportsmemo.com. The combo here gets you all the way throughout the playoffs, the national championship game, all the way through the Super Bowl, all the props he releases for just $299. Gives you every play in the NFL and college football using the coupon code Joe299 at checkout for his NFL college football full rest of the season. That's over $200 off. We'll keep that active here for a couple days on sportsmemo.com. That coupon code is Joe299 at checkout for his NFL college football rest of the season package. Joe, next game up, we're heading to the SEC, the 3:30 Eastern CBS game here. Texas A&M at Georgia. We're seeing the Bulldogs laying 13 in Sanford Stadium between the hedges, 44.5 being the total here, Joe.
Yeah, listen, they know what they know. They've already clinched the return to the SEC championship right on the east side. They know that's coming, but I think the urgency is still there for these guys. I would not expect them to take their foot off the gas pedal. They hear the rumors. They hear what's going on. And listen, it's been as disappointing a season as it could be for Jimbo and company at Texas A&M. It was a brutal schedule. They just didn't win any of the big games in order to put them over the hump. Chances are they're not going to win this one either. The Bulldogs, 20-8 against the number in their last 28 against the SEC. They're 14-5 against the number in their last 19 against opponents with winning records. The bottom line is Georgia's not going to have a problem beating Texas A&M by at least 2 scores. So even if it's anywhere under 14, under the 2 touchdowns, I'm good to go, man. Give me Georgia to roll here.
And just a quick question here, Joe. Where would you put Jake Fromm in terms of quarterbacks in the country? How high do you think he is on that list?
He's definitely going to be a top 5 quarterback. I mean, he's going to get buried there because of obviously the loss to South Carolina, but kid's got experience. He's been there. He's done that. You know, we've seen guys come in like this before, have real good success early on, and then maybe, you know, taper off a little bit later in their college career. Sam Darnold comes to mind. He's a guy like that lit it up. But guys, he's going to be playing on Sundays, whether, you know, he's going to do it regardless. But don't sleep on Georgia. I mean, this is a team that could very well be. Nobody's got more talent than Georgia, guys. Nobody. So, and he's been there and done that. I like Georgia as a dog to win it all as well.
Yeah, man. Good defense with the good quarterback. That's usually a pretty good profile to do some damage.
Yep.
All right, Joe. Let's move on here in the ACC. 127-128 Duke at Wake Forest. We're seeing the Demon Deacons laying 7 in the hook at home, 7 at some shops as well. 51 being the total.
Listen. They can score some points. They're averaging 32.5 points a game, this being Wake Forest. They're averaging close to about 450 yards a game. The problem is the Wake Forest defense is doing just about the same, giving up about 29 points a game, 419 yards. I think this one is going to be a battle, and I think this is one that don't look for any defense to be played. Look for a ton of points to score. I got no problem with the over in this matchup, guys. I would look to the total. I would expect, again, like they have been in all year, you know, Wake Forest and Duke. We could be, you know, 38-35, one of those types of games when it's all said and done.
He's Joe Raineri. We got 1 game left. Guys, he's hitting 57% in college football. He's also hitting 68% in the NFL. You can get the rest of his full season in football using the coupon code Joe299 at checkout rest of the year throughout the Super Bowl national championship under $300. Joe299 at checkout sportsmemo.com. Last game up here, Joe, 129-130, your alma mater, Oklahoma State Cowboys at West Virginia. We're seeing West Virginia catching 7 at home, 58 being the total here, Joe.
Yeah, West Virginia 1-3-2 against the spread in their last 6 at home. The under has also been pretty profitable, backing them 4 of their last 5. But listen, Oklahoma State continues to do what they need to do to climb up the Big 12 standings. And yes, this could be a trap game because they know what's waiting on the other side. Bedlam is coming here, people. Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, but don't expect the mullet to allow these guys to get comfortable on the road. They've won 3 straight. They're 2 back in the Big 12, right behind Oklahoma and Baylor, but they're of 7-3 overall. It's going to be a big bowl payday for Oklahoma State if they can win out here. It starts with getting the job done on the road in West Virginia. Too much talent there. I love Sanders. I love what he's done here as a freshman. The program is in good shape. Expect them to roll here, too. Something like, I would say like 38-21, somewhere around in that ballpark.
Good stuff, Joe. And what they still got a shot to win the Big 12, huh? Oklahoma State Cowboys?
Well, they need a lot of help. But, yes, the bottom line is they got to win this one. And then, of course, they got Oklahoma waiting for them. So if they can win this, they can win Oklahoma. And Baylor slips up here, we've got ourselves a conversation. But a big New Year's bowl game would do really, really good for them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good program there, what they've been able to do really in the last few years. Absolutely, Joe. Anything else you want to throw out before we shut this section down?
Hit us up on Twitter, guys, at Joe Raineri. Stop by, see us. Always posting free plays throughout the week, all the good stuff. But make sure you get over to sportsmemo.com, guys. There's money to be made.
Absolutely. Joe throwing out free picks. Check it out every day on his page. We got Mid-Major Matt throwing out free picks as well. Bunch of handicappers. So check out sportsmemo.com. And remember the coupon code for Joe's rest of football season, college football and NFL at sportsmemo.com. You can get it for under $300 using the coupon code Joe299. That's over $200 off. Coupon code JOE299 at checkout. Joe, thanks for the time. Best of luck with your bets. Guys, we'll be right back with Mid-Major Matt breaking down the next section of the College Football Every Game on the Board podcast.